you're watching this right now, you're either building an agency or you're stuck in that phase of trying to turn this hobby into an actual profitable business. Today, I'm walking you through my Miro flow chart, showing you the exact blueprint guys like Bread Scales, Ads by Dan, and myself have used in order to push past that 10K month mark. And before we even touch the flow chart, I just want to let you guys know it's not about being the smartest marketer in the world. You don't have to be the best in your city, your state, your country. You just have to be able to take the right steps in the right order, using the right tools, cutting out dead strategies, and not wasting your years implementing the same tools that have never worked. Also, I'm going to say it early. Using Yelp to scrape leads and making phone calls that actually decline your trust is over. It's dead. It's not like it never works, but it's outdated. It's not 2017 anymore, so don't rely on Yelp strictly just to get your leads. The new game is about targeted attention, targeted data, inbound calls, and inbound attention. So people already respect you whenever you reach out rather than them declining your call because they don't want to hear your voice. All right, so as I scroll through my Miro, everything is set up like a machine, basically like a lane where you can see exactly where we're headed. This is something that I'd want you guys to utilize in your business just so that you can have a visual on what you actually want to do for each and every project that you have. One of the things that we use Miro for specifically is ordering our processes like order of operations. So stuff like our offer, our proof, our leads, our messaging, our pipeline, our inbound, and our sales. They're all lined up perfectly so that we can see exactly how we're going to run this process through our business. So when we look at Bread Scales, we always connect him to the fact that he started out on Shopify and that he ran a brand. We don't even think of him as a marketer. We think of him as an influencer. He's more like a figure, like a public figure, right? Bread Scales, who's known for crashing Lambos and selling courses now, but honestly was one of the top marketers in his league and in his lane at the time, was one of the people who made me look into actually making $1,000 a month and what that looked like from working from home. One of the tools that Brez implemented early into his system was Shopify, and that's a super profitable system, right? When you first start out, even if you use a new email, you can start with $1 a month just for your website. If you know how to build one already, so you're done with that website after 3 months or however many months, then you don't have to pay $59 a month like I do. You can use Shopify in order to create a new one and just keep running your business on that. But with Shopify, you're able to implement so many tools like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok so that you can run ads consistently and that it's linked to your actual Shopify. So Brez used Shopify, linked it to his Facebook Meta, which is what we use in order to run our ad campaigns for all of our clients and ourselves. We just signed a client last week who's paying over 7.5K for like 8 weeks of work. And it's honestly only because we've used Facebook ads and utilized it to a good point. We've used Facebook ads for YouTube videos, for landing pages, for funnels on our Facebook. It's honestly the most important factor in running ads in 2026. All right, so when we think about running an agency, I think the main thing that people struggle with is actually getting leads. So as we get leads, the main thing that we used to rely on was Yelp, and Yelp honestly isn't a lot of help to your business because you're calling people who don't actually need your business. You need to know who's in your business lane, who needs help, what their company looks like, and the analytics and details behind that company so that you can make an informed decision on who you're actually calling. So Apollo is a lead scraping system that allows you to basically break down categories of who you're actually looking to contact. So what business line, what niche, how many employees, phone number, email, CEO, owner, stuff like that, so that you don't have to go into a different platform and find all that and put it down into Google Sheets. So basically the steps for Apollo is find an ideal customer, find the company, filter it down, and then stack them up. As we see, both of these end up in phone calls. Apollo is a system where you can keep all those contacts that you've seen in Apollo and you don't have to go over to Google Sheets, but both of them work. So after our lead gen system is obviously established, we can obviously slide into a CRM or a customer relation management platform that allows you to manage your relations of your customer and then see where they're actually standing so that you don't have to guess or go back to your Google Sheets as well. One of the main issues I'm going to point out before we even get into adding creatives or going into Gamma, which is our next tool and platform, is that honestly, we need to focus on the fact that most companies skip out like actually using a product that's something that you could package and that people would trust. So if you don't have any case studies or you don't have any proof, Make sure that you add those things to your website or to your social media so that people can trust you without guessing. So this is kind of where guys like Brett Scales and As by Dan start to make a lot of sense when they think about a profitable system. We've went over Apollo and we've went over ChatGPT already in our past videos and Sheets turning it into a machine, but Apollo genuinely makes that process so much easier. With HubSpot, we're simply just narrowing down our clients, sectioning them off into sections that we can actually recognize. Once we've gotten our clients or our outbound calls into HubSpot, we want to transfer over to Gamma where say we signed a client like we did for 7.5K just for 8 weeks, we can create them a creative that's actually worth it, right? Or even a presentation that we can present to them during our follow-up call. We've already cold called. Now that we got them to sign, we want to be able to follow up with a presentation or an offer that's actually professional. We don't want to have just a Google slide and throw them into a Zoom call. We want to have something that actually looks like we care. With Gamma, it's super easy, right? We can go into Google Slides. And this is an old account that I had for school, but say I wanted to save this, right? I'd open it in a new tab, I'd save it on a file, and then after that, I would just go into Gamma and then paste it as a presentation or a PDF so that it turns into an AI generated automated presentation for your client. All right, so the next model that we're gonna slide into is ChatGPT, obviously, and we can use that to create an offer that honestly we wouldn't be able to come with ourselves, right? It's kind of like the backbone of a lot of our creatives aside from Gamma that we use for presentations, but we use it for content, outreach, sales, cold call scripts, and stuff like that. That honestly, we don't want to waste time on just brainstorming throughout the day. We want to come up with an immediate answer so that we can make an immediate action. And that's basically where the next step comes in. It's basically messaging, right? This is where most agencies lose game. They send corny scripts and they move on with like short, specific, not personable enough scripts or prompts, and they waste time cold calling and emailing and text SMS, all that. They waste their time doing it and it's not worth it. So ask for personalization, ask to scale, make sure you do your research on what the brand looks like, what their product is, their angle, and more stuff like that so that it's specific and you don't have to sit there and write it yourself. This plays into a lot of the ads that you'll actually post for your client, right? So once we slide into Meta, we're able to actually come in and say, all right, well, I want my headline to be this. Using ChatGPT, we're able to say, create me a headline for a company. Say we're doing HVAC. Create me a headline for an HVAC company focused on family and that would like to serve the area of Virginia or something like that, right? We'd focus on those prompts and those steps in detail so that when we go to retarget an audience later on, even in Facebook, we're already kind of familiar with who we need to contact. All right, and in Meta, you already know what to do, right? So Meta is basically the system that we use to run Facebook ads and run our campaigns. So with ChatGPT, like we said, we'll create those headlines, ones that'll actually correlate to the business that you're interested in or that you're running ads for. So basically, one of the structures that we like to use is one campaign per lead or one campaign per lead gen conversion. We keep it simple so that way when you're reaching out to prospects or a client who hasn't actually signed but they're actually willing to sign, you can get them something to sample that'll actually work. Ad sets are kind of broad e-com related, but they're interest stacked so that people who are engaging shoppers, online users, people who are consistent in the niche that you're looking in based on your details, Meta allows you to take a creative angle, right? We can create funnels, we can create instant forms, we can create quick sheets, we can create ads, creatives, whatever we need. And so if you had ran an ad in the past and it worked for you, you can run a lookalike audience so that the ad basically repeats itself even if it's in a different niche. Targeted behaviors like engaged shoppers, engaged customers, loyal brands, stuff like that, so that you can actually get your clients the results they want. So after we've ran our ads and we kind of get into the creative side of running the ads and what we need to make it look like, we can kind of get into what the strategies look like as well. So one of the ad strategies that I love is the $1 million ad strategy, right? This advertisement that you see on this Miro flowchart was created by ChatGPT. Not only did I just put in a prompt to create them, but I made sure that they were detailed enough so that they'll fit on the flowchart. Just want to throw that out there just in case you don't believe that AI will actually create anything profitable. But the main system that we like to use is a funnel form or like an instant form. And it's $1 million ad strategy. That's what I like to call it. It allows you to grow your booked calls, your appointments, CTV, CTL, RTV, content creation, all that, right? Even your ad results. And that will kind of flow into the main form of funnel that we use. So if we're looking out for business owners or CEOs who need marketing done, I will basically just post an instant form that says what best describes your business, right? Sales and ad agency or HVAC, right? We'd able to funnel them into a new ad campaign that says, okay, well, now what do you need done for your business? Obviously, the other tool that we're going to utilize in order to make sure that we scale to the right place is AI. And that way we can actually say, hey, well, I have a profitable prompt and offer and proposal for you that's not just out of the wind and doesn't have anything to do with your company. Because I don't know a lot about flooring, I don't know a lot about roofing, but with AI, it'll help me create a prompt that's profitable. This system alone has allowed me to reach this goal that I'll show you on the bottom as well. And this one is a little bit more realistic, right? So if we're on Meta, the main goal is to basically perfect our instant forms. And this is an example of an instant form title that I would use, right? So how our instant form tool has generated over 10K for a turf company in Arizona. That's perfect for this video. Look, if I'm an agency owner and I see that, I'm immediately going to click and be like, awesome, perfect. But this is genuinely how we did it. So with instant forms, with funnels, with Facebook ad platforms, you're able to say, what's my top priority for marketing? And that's the main question that we want to ask our clients as well, right? Are we looking for business boosts? Are we looking for conversions? Are we looking for more customers? Or are we looking to kind of just get a quota on what our budget should be, right? And we can offer all those things for you. Again, we'll just run a form or a funnel that'll kind of get your customers to say, this is what I need, and this is my business's goals. What goal fits your business's ad goals? Is it creatives? Is it forms, funnels, site maintenance, any of that? And this will obviously create you a system that'll make you get ad results and results that'll kind of look similar to this. So these were the results that we had after doing a ad campaign for about 5 months for a turfing company out in Scottsdale. Shout out Monster Turfing. We appreciate you guys. It was a pleasure working with you guys. Hope to do more business. But basically, through last summer when I was in college, we were able to generate them over $14,000 using ads. And that was profit revenue, right? That's not something that they said, this is what we invested. No, they invested $6,593 and made $14,996 back. Obviously, over the months, that took a while, but with a near $1,000 ad spend, we were able to propose this to them like, hey, look, we have an ad spend that we think is profitable for you in a system using more than one platform, right? We have Shopify, we have Meta, we have ChatGPT, we have AI creatives, and not only AI creatives, AI prompts and proposals to your guys' clients if needed. Our new tools such as Apollo replace tools like Sheets so that we can get more inbound cold calls, and then we can transfer all those cold calls and improving clients into HubSpot. And if you think that it stops there, it doesn't. We go right into Gamma. We create you a presentation for our follow-up. Not only that, we create you a profitable proposal through ChatGPT. That way, when we actually run ads for you, you get those creative 4K visuals and creatives that don't look bland, right? They look something like this, and they're actually profitable and ask you questions that are specific to your business or your client's business. So again, this is the end goal, but it doesn't take a week. It doesn't take a month. It's going to take a little bit. And once you get that first client, that first check is going to feel good. You're going to get paid for the ad spend. You're going to get paid for the business alone. But trust me, don't stop there. For the campaigns that we ran for the company, we did a winter test scale. So while it was kind of cold, we did that. And then after we scaled that for our test number A, we basically did test number B doing the exact opposite. A little bit higher of an ad spend, but we found out that we got more leads in our second than we did in our first. So our CPM on our first campaign for test number A was $414, where our CPM for our second, or our test number B, was $428. Obviously, the impression amount is pretty similar. It's not that big of a difference, but we did have similar ad spend. So with 232,000 impressions on the first one in a month, that's actually pretty good. And they made $3,000 just off of sales for their online site. When they sell stuff like turf installations or just quotes on their site, it's a lot better to reach out to even people like contractors or other turfing companies if you actually sell a product that you can scale on your website along with your services. So obviously, after that, we were able to combine those into a with the growth campaign, which is basically called our A2 campaign, right? It's our A campaign and our B campaign combined into another campaign. And we were able to actually increase our CPM and increase our impressions. This basically proves to you guys that it's not just some Willy Akbach or crazy like strategy that I'm pushing out to you guys. It's something that's actually proven. With a gain of $3,183, I'd say we should continue this process and just keep going. With Q4, we did our test number B, obviously made improvements there. And then with our Q4 lead push, we just retargeted all those people that worked. Retargeted those people who saw the ad, saw the creative. Maybe they clicked on the site. Maybe they told the company, we do need work, but we couldn't do it just now. We were able to retarget them. And with the Q4 lead push, I'd ask that you guys, if you're watching this video, never retarget on Q4 or on your, not even Q4, but just on your last campaign for a company. Say you ran 4 campaigns in a month for a company. on that last campaign, just retarget, right? Do your little Q4 lead push and call it a day, because you will be profitable. All right. We totaled out with around a $6,000, I'll say 6.5K ad spend, 6.6K for being honest. And we generated them over 2,000 leads. So that's huge, right? Within those 5 months, we were able to say, okay, what did we grow with? And then what do our leads look like now? And did we actually generate profitable leads? $418 CPM and 1 million in impressions. And I need to update my Instagram because I did not add that to my Instagram. But 1.2 million impressions just for this company. And if we're being honest, in 2026, some impressions will get you 1 million alone, right? Say a TikTok video gets you 1 million views. That's a lot more than this 5 months. So social media is a super profitable place to make money, because they ended up making 14 grand, 15K basically, for their company. And that's not what I received. That's their money. So if you don't think you can make money promoting it, just do it. All right, so that's basically the whole blueprint. Brez used it, I used it, Ads by Dan used it. So basically, Apollo to get your leads, Shopify to build your store, Meta Ads to drive traffic, and Apollo to build a real list. ChatGPT to build personalization and a real offer, HubSpot to track your inbound pipeline, Gamma to create you a presentation, and AI creatives that'll actually get you leads. Remember, funnels and forms are our biggest platforms that we use on Facebook ads and on Meta, so do not forget, okay? That's huge. All right, so if you want, I'll drop a simplified version of this flow chart just so that you can see for yourself. I can even post it on Instagram, doesn't matter to me. You can plug this into your Miro if you want, but if not, no worries at all. I hope this video helped a lot. If this video did help, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, let us know what lane of e-commerce you're choosing. You know, Shopify brands, local services, or even if you need help on any other topics that we post, let us know in the comments. We'll post a video on it. We actually had someone comment this exact same problem the other day, so we want to just give them a quick idea of what it looked like. So if you haven't already applied to the marketing wave, apply now. It's absolutely free, and we have a 12-step playbook on there as well. If this video is too much info to take in, just go on our website, download that free PDF. It's a presentation that we actually used using Gamma, and you guys can just see what it looks like for yourself, and I'll put that in the link down below. Love you guys. Keep growing that business. See you later.